Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're doing a build in the absolutely stunning Lian Li O11 Vision-M. This is a cracking little Micro-ATX case, so we're going to put together a Micro-ATX build. So let's get straight into it and introduce the parts. So starting off, we're going to be using an AMD Ryzen 7800X3D, cracking gaming chip, and it's going to be perfect for this little build. Motherboard wise, we're going to be using the Sapphire Pure B850M Wi-Fi, a great new addition from Sapphire, and also graphics card wise we'll be using the Sapphire Pure AMD Radeon RX 9060 XT, so keeping things pretty much on brand as far as AMD goes. When it comes to storage, this is always a tricky one, but I've decided to go with a Biwin X570 2TB PCI Express Gen 5 drive, being that the motherboard supports PCI Express Gen 5, so why not take advantage of it, and will be useful for benchmarks. In terms of RAM these days is still extraordinarily expensive, as is storage in general, and we'll be using some rather generic Crucial OC RAM. This is DDR5 6000, 32 gigabytes, and I think it's a CL32 or CL36, but this is going to be absolutely fine. Now, in terms of cooling for this setup, we're going with air cooling to begin with. There is going to be a follow-up video to this with a water-cooled version, so you can see the differences and check out Lian Li's latest water cooling technology. Make sure you stay subscribed to see how that goes. But in this instance, we're just going to go with some cheap and cheerful cooling, so we've gone with the Thermalright Assassin. This is the Assassin X120 Refined SE White ARGB. A very inexpensive cooler, and again tying into the white theme across this build. Now when it comes to actual fans for this system, so we've pretty much gone to town here with Lian Li's latest and greatest. So these are the Lian Li Unifan TL Wireless 120s. We've got a couple of sets here, so we've got 5 of the reverse blade models, a 3-pack and a twin pack, and also we've got a standard directional flow, 2 of those included. So plenty of fans in here. And what really actually stands these out from the rest of the crowd on the market is the fact that they connect to your motherboard via this, a USB wireless dongle, which is kind of crazy, but I really want to check this out and see how well it works. Hopefully it should minimize cable management and cabling in general, so we'll definitely see how that goes throughout the build. And to finalize it, we need some power. So with power, we've gone with the Thermaltake GT 1000 watt. This is the Snow Edition, PCI Express Gen 5.1. 1000 watts can be way more than we actually need here, but it's nice to have a little bit of future proofing, and they're also at pretty decent prices. So I think that is pretty much it. Time to get building. Okay, so there we go. There is the PC completely built. Well, almost completely. We'll come on to that a little bit later. But I gotta say, this has been an absolute dream to work on. It's been very nice to use, and the temperatures are absolutely astounding. Now, I'm not too sure whether it's a combination of this motherboard, but we have here a 7800 X3D with a very inexpensive air cooler, not a particularly big one at that, and we are getting some really, really good temperatures. Now, the package temperature, lowest recorded, around about 40 degrees Celsius in a roughly 22 degree room, and even under Cinebench full load, we're looking at around about 80 degrees Celsius, which I think is fantastic. And the scores, I've done a couple of rounds, and generally the scores are absolutely excellent. So whether or not it's the case doing its job or whether or not it's the motherboard, I'm not entirely sure. But a 7800 X3D on air cooling, which is really weird because I've actually had the exact same CPU in the PC behind me with a 360mm AIO, and it was always ramping up and down. And I find it very difficult to actually keep it under control. So whether it's the case, whether it's the cooler, not entirely sure. There is actually going to be another follow-up to this video where we actually put a 360mm AIO in here, so you can see what the results are going to be like, and that video will be coming out very shortly. But this, again, very easy to build in. The fans have made this very, very easy indeed. With these new wireless fans, it's fantastic. As you've probably seen from the footage already, there's a lot of fans in here already. So there are, what, 7 fans in here, and there's only 3 wires connecting them up, and they go straight to the power supply via the SATA connector, which is brilliant. So there's not like loads and loads of PWM and RGB wires. All of it is controlled very easily by the wireless adapter, so just a single USB dongle plugged into one of the spare USB 2 ports on the back, and it works very well. The fans as well move an absolute ton of air. I wasn't entirely convinced that reverse blade fans were going to be the way to go based on my experience with other fans, but these ones seem to be absolutely incredible. And at the back there, where we've got the dual exhausts, the air coming out of this case is actually really, really cold. Not like freezing, but surprisingly cold. I didn't think it was going to do as well as it does. So considering this is a Micro-ATX chassis, the cooling is phenomenal. It really is. Far better than I was going to expect, especially with this really inexpensive air cooler, which costs about £18 in the UK. So that is pretty insane. And as far as the looks, you're probably seeing from some B-roll, it's really hard to capture this on camera, how nice it actually looks in person. The infinity on the fans, the whole layout, and also the fact that you can see it from pretty much any angle as well. So looking on this side, I can see in and see everything. From the top, you can see lots of stuff as well, and obviously from the front, you can see in. It is a very, very open chassis. And in terms of cable management, it's very easy to do in the back, even with our relatively large power supply and extra cables, SATA cables, etc. Pretty easy to cable manage, and still lots of room for an AIO should we want to put one in there, and potentially some other fan controllers and things if need be. So that is very good. The only thing I do think is a slight downside about this at the moment, and possibly you've seen it as well, is this section at the top, the AIO kind of compartment. It all looks a little bit bland at the moment on this Lian Li O11 Vision-M. So why don't we turn it into a O11 Vision-M digital with the 9.2 inch screen. So I'm going to turn this off, we'll put this in and see if it fills that gap. So here we are, we've got it installed now. It only takes a couple of screws. There are actually some extra standoffs included in the packaging, which you attach to there, because it actually does bring it out slightly as well, so that's all included. And for those of you wondering, how do you actually power this thing? Well, there's 2 ways of powering it. There's 2 adapters included in the packaging, one of which terminates into a standard USB type A, which you can just plug into the back of your computer. There is a little pass-through in the side, which I'll try and get a picture of. There's a pass-through, so you can pass the cable straight out through and into the back of your PC. Or alternatively, there is an internal USB Type 2 connector, which you can plug into the bottom of your motherboard. Now, for this particular instance, because I've already built this, and to get down to those connectors at the bottom is going to be a faff, and I'm probably going to need to either take out the fans or possibly move the graphics card to get a little bit of access in there. Just plug it into the back. Happy days. So if you've got your fully built system, installing this takes literally a matter of, I won't say seconds, that's pushing it, but a couple of minutes at the most. It's very simple to install. and I think it does add quite another dimension to the case. It certainly does fill that top section, and there's various different designs and layouts you can put on there. You can customize it or make up your own. So there's about 15 or so preset ones that you can get from Lian Li in the L-Connect software. Or alternatively, like I said, you can make up your own. As you can see, it's giving us a readout of the temperatures. So at the moment, even though the case front is off to give you a better look, but you can see our temperatures on there, CPU, GPU, it's got the time on there, etc. And you can obviously customize it however you see fit. But I think that does give a nice little element to that top section. Does kind of just makes it pop a little bit more. It is going to add some expense, as we mentioned in the earlier review. Links for all this stuff is going to be in the video description, at least as much as I possibly can. So we'll put the case stuff, the fans, etc., possibly the motherboard and that. If not, there's separate reviews. I'll list all the components anyway. So if you want to replicate this yourselves, then you certainly can do. I think that is pretty much it. A very enjoyable build, surprisingly. I didn't think I would say that about a Micro-ATX case, and actually I really do like the way it's turned out. The lighting looks excellent. The whole layout is just really interesting. I really do appreciate this, and it's a relatively small form factor as well. So if you are somewhat limited on space on your desktop environment, then yeah, I think this is definitely worth a look. And the case itself, without the fans, obviously just the case, without anything else in it, is around about $69 in the US. I'm not sure what the UK pricing is at the time of recording this because it's not officially released yet. But again, there will be links in the video description soon. Check out yourselves should you be interested. So I think that is going to pretty much wrap this one up. Hopefully you've enjoyed the build montage and my thoughts on this case. Again, if you want to find out more, there's individual reviews on all the components on the channel. So if you want to check those out, please feel free to do so. But I think that's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.